Welcome to DarkHorse Matters, the show about people, their passion, and their pursuit toward happiness. I'm Bev Matayoshi, your host, and I'm passionate about people and their dreams and their energy that they emanate and the steps and action that they take to get to where they're going. Every single week, we post a new video, and every single guest I've had on the show has just inspired me more and more. My hopes is that I can do the same for you all out there. So if you're returning, thank you so much for the support, for coming back and watching. If you are new, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that way you can be notified every time we post a new video. The guests that I have on the show today have really inspired me during a time, they have something that just budded out of 2020. And 2020 was just a year that just had a lot of mixed emotions for people. But I just loved following their story because it just gave a new energy and hope and just love for creativity and passion. So with that being said, I would like to give a warm welcome to Tandra Campbell and Jae Crue.
Hey man,
you didn't tell us to bring the instruments.
Right.
I know. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate you guys. I just want to kind of say, Jay, we met in the most random way at a party. We were at a party, and I was invited to this party by a friend, Joe Rainville. Shout out, Joe.
Shout out to Joe.
And he just invited me to a jam session. That's what he called it. And I was like, ooh, jam session. Okay. I was a total chicken, but I brought my guitar anyway, just in case. But I didn't make it up there because I was just too enthralled with the talent that I saw in that room. But we met at that party, and I just remember just the energy in the room was so amazing. And the party was, why don't you tell me, because it's your friend whose party that was.
All right. So, it's everybody. See, the thing about Papuna is he does just have that gravitating spirit too. When you just first meet him, it's just instant. Who is this guy? He's pouring you a drink. He's giving you hugs type guy. So, ultimately, all the energy that was there was just totally love. So, it's just that type of space. But Papuna comes from Georgia, and ended up with the country Georgia, ended up in Georgia. And it's just in the music scene. I've known Papuna for years, buying instruments, and he's just been a staple of the community. So
his last name is how do you say his name?
Kordzaia. Something like that. I don't know. I will probably butchering it right now.
So I just, it was his going away party as I understand it. Mm-hmm. And I just remember it just being kind of like a jam session. Everyone kind of just took turns going up on the stage and just playing whatever. And his space was like a little garage. And there was a stage in there. There was like a sound system. There was a bar. Mm-hmm. And it was just like, wow, this looks like it would not be in here. It was just like a secret spot of love that was hidden in a garage. It was so awesome. And the people, the talent there that night just blew my mind.
All the good stuff comes out in little small spaces and intimate settings like that. That's when everybody feels comfortable and free to just be,
Yes.
We get music out of those sessions.
Yeah. And everyone was just kind of just randomly going up there and just jamming with each other. There was no plan, there was no rehearse anything. And I was just like, wow, I came early and I was probably the last one to leave just because I was just like, wow, I just soaking up. And then Jay, I remember you getting up there with your saxophone. Yeah. Amazing, talented saxophone player. Wow. And I just, I remember running up to you afterwards by the bar going like, do you have Instagram? I want to follow you on Instagram. And that's how we kind of formed our little friendship. I just kind of followed you after that and said hi to you online every now and then. Yeah. Just amazing night. I just remember the talent in the room was just very, very contagious and very inspiring.
It was a special space, you know, and everybody had their own special flair of musicality, you know. So, you know, I remember the tenor sax player. I brought my alto, you know. Papuna was on the drums back there, you know. Joe was out there jamming on the bass. We had a couple other guys doing some other things, but I just know that it just was a right motion. And we would just hop on the stage. It was almost kind of like when you see ducks flying and, you know what I'm saying, one takes the back, you know what I'm saying? They just take turns. Like I would get off stage, I'd be tired, but then another guy hop on the stage and just come in right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was so
tired,
cool.
and there was another drummer that would just come in right behind him.
Yeah.
The night was definitely dope.
Yep. And then there was Fiddlin' Faye, who I know performed at your studio recently. She is super talented. I would love to interview her someday on my show. That's going to be a goal of mine.
But you know what? The fact that you said Fiddlin' Faye was that same night, but her playing is so epic. Shout out to Fiddlin' Faye. That seemed like a whole nother day.
Yes.
Like a whole nother day.
She was a phenomenal, when she did come out, so she was a phenomenal person too. I have to say that, like her whole energy, I can see why she creates the music that she does. Her personality and her, you know, she was just awesome. She's an awesome person.
Faye and Bo, shout out to Bo.
Yeah, shout out, hey, come back and see us.
Absolutely.
So before we get into your lovely cadenza, can you guys give a background a little bit about yourselves? Like, where did you guys grow up and where are you from originally?
You can start off.
Well, I'm Tandra Campbell, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I transplanted here probably about 7 years ago. Before I came here, I had a studio in Maryland where I trained models and actors. So it only made sense to move here to Atlanta with a group of the folks I had been working with. Baltimore is so small, you know, we can train them, but there was no work there. So that's what brought me here to Atlanta. Wow, my background, I'm a professional trainer, professional corporate trainer. It's the arena I work in. I write. I have published one book and my starter book, and I'm working on my second, which we're hoping to get published. So Jay's going to be my literary manager now.
That's right.
So I'm really excited about this next book. And it kind of leads into some of the things you were saying about COVID and so forth. But now I have Cadenza with Justin. And I also manage Justin's music career. And all kinds of other things in the background. I'm a finance person. I'm heavily into financial collaborations and investing and all things money. So that's some of the things that I am. Some of the things that I do.
You know, I love the energy that you guys bounce off each other. Like, I feel like you guys have a good cohesive, you know, partnership. Like you guys have different strengths and, you know, you guys, what is the word I'm looking for? Where you guys work well together. What is, gosh.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you know how you're looking for that one
yeah,
word.
that one word that
it'll
come to me. But what about you, Jae?
Myself, I come from Lithonia, you know, so people from Lithonia, Georgia. So anybody from Atlanta knows, you know, Lithonia is where I'm from and proud of it. Stone Mountain, you know, East Side baby all day.
Oh gosh,
I'm sorry.
Background already.
I'm sorry. I had to do it. But I went to school, Fernbank, around like Druid Hills area, and I say all of this because my background is music. My background is all of that. So playing in the marching band and being in school in a time where you played instruments starting in the 3rd grade, you know what I'm saying? That's that's where I come from. The olden days. Yeah, right. as well as my father, playing saxophone and growing up in the church, and just him doing that excellently. When I was younger, he didn't do it professionally, but but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother Jae Crue story right there. But ultimately, I've been around music my whole life,
Okay.
So that's what I've been influenced by. I went to school for a lot of different other passions. I love art. I went to school for architecture, but I decided that I didn't want to do that. As a matter of fact, I changed my major to business, and just decided that the structure of school wasn't something that I was a part of. So I focused on the music craft, and ultimately life shifted my path in a lot of different ways in order for me to just make me. I kid you not, I could have scripted or figured out or known how my life ended in some of the positions that I've been in. But I thank God that they have, and they've definitely made my creativity a lot better.
So saxophone, your father inspired you. Was that the instrument you chose in the marching band?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the instrument my parents chose.
Oh.
Well, we got this saxophone sitting over there. Yeah, you go ahead and play that.
That's cool. I love that. Your parents have so much influence on you. And then when you take it to the next level, like the way you did, that is just, it's a huge compliment to them, that it stuck with you. Because, there's a lot of kids out there, they're like, I don't listen to my parents. I'll do the exact opposite of what they say. But yeah, I admire that. So, Tandra, were you a creative or a musical person as well? Like, when did you know you were a writer?
Well, as far as music goes, I'm from the old school where we had instrumental music as well. So my instrument of choice was the flute. So I did play the flute. I have a love for music, just a general passion for music. Like a few days ago, I was just going through something very heavy, and but it was the music, just being able to put my AirPods in and shut everything out except for the music that brought me back to where I needed to be. My dad and my mom both sing. My dad more so in a band and group. He did his thing there. So I again have been around, just that love for it. As far as creativity goes, I think I'm pretty creative. I paint, I draw, I write. When did I know that I like to write? When I was a little girl. I'm the only child, and so a lot of my time was spent in my bedroom writing stories. And I think he complimented my handwriting, and I said it was just from hours of just writing as a child. So that was something, again, just natural. I love all things creative, and I'll try anything. Justin and I, you said something about the way that we gel together. I think it's because of the creativity, like making soaps. We'll spend the afternoon making soaps. We'll spend time in Hobby Lobby picking up stuff. So Jay's making, like, he just made me a seashell. We were at Myrtle Beach in July, and we collected seashells. So he just made a wind chime with the seashells, and it's really nice. I'm looking at it from here. He has it hanging up. So just however, we spend our afternoons sometimes just sitting there painting and drawing, and we're working with someone right now on a production, and Justin and I will get the opportunity to do some writing. So we spend hours just throwing around ideas, coming up with characters, writing. At any given day, we joke a lot and we laugh a lot. We'll come up with just a skit or something funny that's happening and not intentional. But that's the strength of, I believe, I know that who we are outside of the relationship. We're not feeling all lovey-dovey or in love, and like we still have so much other stuff that we do that keeps it from the music. You know, I'm the person that can say, that doesn't sound good. You need to do that again, or oh yeah, you know, just it's all kinds of stuff. It's just creativity is everything for me. Everything, even with the kids, you know, I don't want them playing video games all day. Let's create something, you know. We got mold and clay, you know, we have all kinds of art supplies and things like that. So that's what we do.
Yes, and that's how you influence others around you that way too. That energy, that creative energy, so important because I don't know, there's something just therapeutic about it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you're cooking dinner, you know, just one of the Rasta pasta, you know, we like Rasta pasta, but we cook it in two different ways. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you guys meet?
Through a mutual friend, another artist. When I was here in Atlanta, when I first got here, that other artist is from Baltimore as well. And they were good friends, and we just met at maybe a party, a club, or did y'all come to my house and have food?
I mean, she was this artist, so you know, she was around.
Yes, I don't remember exactly where we were.
And so it was just a consistent, like, you know, just knowing who she was in the background, but just, you know, just that.
How can you not notice her with that hair?
You know, and such a big personality. You know, so just, you know, she was definitely always an awesome person.
Yeah.
You know?
So I was a fan. When I started to hear his music, I started to be a fan of the music. And like you too, I'm like, oh, let me follow and see who this person is. But I had wanted to manage him for a long time. Like I was like kind of in the background looking like, the artist that I was working with was a bit selfish, so she probably wouldn't have went for it at that time. But there were several times that I approached him because at that point we were seeing each other through this mutual friend, and then we became friends. I would come out and support his shows and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I made mention of, you know, hey, managing. But my background is in modeling and acting, not music. So I don't have the music contacts and things. And I'm still, you know, was still trying to figure out my way through Atlanta. So I think that might have been like, for you. So, as I'm watching his management team, I'm like, oh no, they should do this, they should do that, or it's not working. And when I saw that it fell apart, I'm like,
opportunity. That's cool. Well, you know, I think you guys gravitated toward each other, you know, and that's how life is, like, especially if two souls are creative in the same way, you kind of you create that energy that pulls you. I think it's beautiful, and you guys make such a good power couple, I believe.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
So I remember during 2020, I started seeing, you know, a lot of activity on Instagram, you know, with the name Cadenza. And I was like, what is Cadenza? What is this? But, you know, it intrigued me, like, and it would always pop up. You guys were very consistent with putting that out there. And I just, you know, I think it's really cool that when, you know, 2020 was a rough year for a lot of people. And it just inspires me when I see people take that rough time and turn it into something positive, you know, and that's what I feel like you guys did with Cadenza Studios. So can you tell us about how that cultivated, how did that emerge during the year 2020 for you guys?
Well, I definitely want to start this off by saying I was kind of selfish with it. I was kind of selfish with it because I wanted a place that I could record, and I just wanted to record. I wanted to be able to not have to go through the crap that we were going through to booking studios and paying X amount of dollars to be there,
a lot of money in studios.
To be there for a little while, and wanting to go back in, or just wanting to be there whenever I wanted to be there and not have to question or answer anybody on that motion. So Tanny, let's just say I definitely wanted it in my heart, but I think I was scared, you know, to be honest.
That was honest.
And and because it takes work, you know, it takes work to actually, you know, you just can't be in there. Like, all right, you know, you gotta have it moving. So Tammy was like, this is what we need, you know. So ultimately,
he was like, no. He was like, no. When at first, because it was very expensive going into the studios, like what we were doing, and we just like quality. So you want to go where you're getting quality. So I suggested, listen, we should have our own studio. He's like, no.
You know, I think the universe said, you know, step out on a limb, you know, and a lot of times it happens in my life where God will just be like,
yeah, here you go.
Do this. You know what I'm saying? And so it was an opportunity we thought we were coming in to bless somebody else because we had the money to actually help somebody else get a studio. All right. And then it just so happened that there was a spot next door that was for rent as well. And Tan walks through it, and the initial partner that I had, the music was there. Like, that was a no-brainer. It was like, okay, you know, I knew that I was going to help this guy out with a studio, but I mean, we were cool. So let's go ahead and make a partnership where I at least am able to utilize the studio while you run it and things of that nature, blase. So we fell in love with the next door side, if you will, as a vision, as a dream. We fell in love with the dream, be able to unite both sides and make it bigger, you know, and all of that. Ultimately, we kept the business side of it and turned that into the studio. Ultimately, it made for a 3-room space, barely over 1,300 square feet, if you will, with 3 rooms, and we made it work. We got a Zen room in the lobby, a nice little creative space in the middle, and then the studio room where I'm able to just go back, close the door, get in the booth, mix, engineer, run sessions, stuff like that. But that was the initial, like, okay, cool, that's what I wanted. And then now we've got to actually run it, you know. now we got to actually run it. So we brought in an engineer, Professor X, who's an amazing guy, an amazing engineer. Running the studio as far as the clientele, lead engineer, because that's not what I specialize in. I know how to work the equipment, I know how to do it. But as far as being sharp and meticulous, that's a skill in itself, you know. So we just,
for him, that Cadenza has been the absolute best thing we could have done for him in his music career. Because as he said, now we're at the point where we can wake up in the morning, because we often, especially when we first went with the studio, right? We would wake up there in the morning because it's just there.
Right.
And the album, his new album, we created it there. And the energy, when people come to the studio, the first thing they say is the vibe. Like, they're feeling the energy and the vibe, because it's a small place, but between our energy and our dreams and our passion, you can see it or feel it in each room. You know, when we went in that space, it was just like a blank space.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin
and
I,
space.
Yeah, it was. And then, like I said, we were just going to use it for office, no people coming in.
Mm-mm.
And we took a couple of months and just took our time, painted and did everything, like with the Cricut, cutting out stencils. I mean, just everything.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, running around. I wanted these fountains that nobody sold anymore. And I found them all the way in Timbuktu, Georgia.
We had a fish tank. It was about like a 30-gallon fish tank. We don't have the fish tank anymore.
So, you know, you said something about 2020. 2020 was a very good year for us, you know, even the pandemic going on. And I mostly think because we were able to slow down. We were able to slow down because everything slowed down at that point. And you just kind of face, like, what do you really want?
No, facing the tribulations or the reality that this slowing down, or the reality of realness that was actually supposed to be shown this season. You know, what are you supposed to gravitate toward? What are you supposed to be letting go? What is really being revealed in front of your face? You know, because a lot of strength has definitely happened within 2020. you know, and a lot of shedding has definitely happened within 2020 for a
I
lot of people.
Yeah. Because you had to face yourself, you had to face your family in 2020. And then that's like a do or die. You're either going to get better, you know, or you're going to fall apart. I think for me personally, I got better because now, you know, I had time to really see who was here. And, you know, I'm not going to work. You know, I traveled for my job and we shut down. There was no traveling. It's like, sit your ass home, you know, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting home like, okay, who are these people? What do y'all do? You know, and then he and we had that time to now just focus on us, what we were doing and what we wanted to create. So hence comes Cadenza.
Yes, I think that is so powerful. I think what you guys just talking about what happened during 2020. And I think it was for a lot of people, for the first time, for me personally, I got to sit there and actually take a breath and not be distracted by everything that's going on, you know, being over busy. And you'd be like, what excites me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything just looks different at that point, you know? So I know people were going through at first, and no disrespect to all you COVID people out there that's going to get upset about this comment, but we didn't take it seriously at first. Like 2020, when things were going on, I think Jae did a quarantine video, a spoof that was really good. If y'all want to go to Jae Crue Music, and a quarantine video it was hilarious. But we filmed it. That's where a lot of it started. But we did a lot of traveling in 2020. You know, things were shut down, but we still have our cars. We could still get in the car and go. And we did a lot of traveling, and we had a whole lot of fun. And that's what I'm saying about the studio. So it's not, we don't have that studio open so that we can make a living. We have that studio open so that we can make magic. Does that make sense for you?
Yes.
So we're not, if we don't go there and open the door today, tomorrow, whatever, it's okay. We still have it. We survived. We've been there for over a year. You know, we're there. But when we open the door, there's not a stress of, oh God, we got to go to work. We got to go that. When we go in there, we know it's magic now. You know, it's just the vibe that we put there, the energy, the love we put there. We just want other people to come and grasp it. You know,
and we're spread that creative vibes.
Right.
I
we're
love
not
it.
on there saying, hey, come book our session, come book a session, because we don't really want everybody to come and try to book a session. We only want people that want to come and be family with us in that space so that we can, like you said, at the jam session, you know, for a person to come in and record and have Jae in the room in the studio session, sometimes I feel like they're getting over because they're getting his talent. You know, he's going to help you write it. He's going to pull out his sax because he's a show off. You know, he's going to get involved in it, but it's for it. They love him, you know? So that's what we want. We're not just open to make the money. We're open to just indulge in our creative spirits. And
I think that is so beautiful. And, you know, like that kind of energy is just going to manifest something amazing. Like, how can it not, right?
Well, it manifested an engagement.
Yes. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm so excited for you. But I am so grateful that you guys invited me over there a couple weekends ago, and I was able to experience just being in your space. And it's so right. Like the vibe, as soon as you step in, like the colors, everything just kind of, I don't know, it just makes your dopamine levels go up, I think. Yes. And I can totally see that space, like just inspiring a lot of music out of people. I want to come back. Like,
Cadenza has definitely been great. And like Tanny said, we've been able to do and provide for ourselves outside of the studio, which has been a blessing. So the ability to create has definitely been a lot easier. You know, the ability to stand back and just look at the things that I want to talk about and how I want to influence the culture, you know, through who I am, what I'm talking about, and through my actions, you know. That's the base. That's the base and the foundation of of what's going on with this music. It's going to be fun, you know, it's going to be sexy, it's going to make you feel, it's going to be a lot of instruments, and it's going to be right, you know, but ultimately you're going to hear the maturity of what life is about. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we get thrown a certain view or a certain spectrum of what we think everything is going to make you happy, you know, but having the good foundation of family, having the good foundation of people who love you, you know, those small circles are important, you know, that is what this music is going to display.
I love that. And I can't wait to experience more of your music. Like, you're not just in there creating just the music to, you know, to make money, or, you know what I mean? Like, the way you guys are making the music, just the process, and, you know, the fact that you guys are doing it out of love, you know what I mean? Like, that just makes it more special. And I can't wait to experience more of it.
We one of the songs we didn't get for you to hear is we co-wrote. Okay, all right. So I didn't co-write all of it like that, but I came up with like the most.
She came up with the meat of the idea, like, you know, definitely her idea of just the energy. The energy behind the song is definitely on her.
But one of the things, speaking as his manager at this point on a professional level, and what I wanted him to share with you about 2020, because I know that was important to you when we spoke before and when we had a chance to sit down. What I saw with Justin is, and why we're not rushing to put the music out, is I've witnessed the evolution of his music. As I said, I was a fan way back before, you know, and now watching him do what he does, first of all, it's amazing for me to know that that's my guy. That is my guy. And they're doing that right now. Like, that makes me
see the feels.
Like, yeah.
Feels.
All right. So from a management perspective, I've watched him in 2020 evolve, and I watched the music evolve and become a lot more mature. So what we're not doing now is rushing to get the music out, because, like, we don't need the 99-cent download or whatever they're doing. That's not the whole point of it. But we do want you to stream it. We do want you to store it for free, stream it, you know.
Listen to it for free.
Exactly. So as far as you know how it is with your show, you have to build up your social media. You got to do this. Well, we don't feel like doing all that. Okay. We want to live and enjoy our lives. We don't want to spend all day trying to figure out what everybody's saying or what blah. We want to let him put the music out that he loves, because he loves it and he's feeling it. And then whoever can gravitate toward it will gravitate toward it, because I feel like what he's putting up now is the truest he's been as far as the craft goes. And this new album is going to show that. So it doesn't have to be rushed. You know, you guys, everybody will get it when it's time.
It's ultimately, I will say this, I will give you a little bit of some of the mental on what it 33. She said, not saying much, not really care. I don't want to give the impression that I don't care, but I want to say that 33 is my Jesus year. And one thing that I'm as looking historically at Jesus and who he is. He walked through in a time where people opposed, you know, some of the things that the truth of what he was saying. So the concept of somebody walking through and people are opposing your truth, but you know that it is light. You understand what I'm saying? But ultimately, it was his walk and his actions, you understand, that spoke for him, not necessarily him having to really speak too much. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
He spoke to his circle. He spoke to his tribe. You get what I'm saying? He spoke to his 12. But ultimately, he walked, and his actions spoke louder than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what I'm definitely looking forward to this project doing. And I just have ultimate faith that that's what it's going to do.
And you're just going to attract the people that's going to complement your sound, you know, because you want the people that vibe with you to gravitate toward, you know, your creative energy. And it's just going to complement. I've just experienced in the past, you know, music come together in that way. And it's so much more meaningful, you know, and when you can share it with others, it's just that much more powerful. So I'm so excited for you guys, and I can't wait to hear more of the music, and I can't wait to be invited to one of your parties at your space.
We're actually working on a new space, our culture community.
We're working on a culture warehouse, so you guys will get all the information on that very soon. A bigger space and a
warehouse.
Wow.
Flexibility is going to be phenomenal. So you guys will really
we're excited about that. So stay tuned. That's our culture, part of our culture community. We're creating a culture warehouse for you guys to come out, and it'll have all things creative inside. Come hang out, vibe out with us. And, you know, we can grow together. We truly believe it takes a tribe. So we're going to be like hippies.
2002. So we have, I want to say this, 2021, we've already released a couple records that you can find already. So you'll notice the 2021 records that have been released. But 2022 is when I will be releasing my full project. So those records that are out now is just going to like a little hint, little taste what's to come. And then, of course, the Culture Warehouse, you'll be able to come and kick it with us.
Yes. So where can people find this music to get a little preview?
You can go online.
We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music, iTunes.
Okay,
I
will drop the links into the description so people can find it.
Google Jae Crue Music and everything. You can find it there or at the website, jaecruemusic.com, cadenzaduluth.com. So we are out there. And we are, again, just organically giving you something great that we love, and we hope that you love it and you gravitate towards us. Or if you have a project or something you're working on, no pressure, you know, you want to come kick it, hang out with us and see what happens. Because ultimately, if you look good, we look good.
That's right. That's right.
So we're here to assist, help however we can.
Help you vocally, help you.
Well, he can do all that. I can't sing. But I can handle your business. We can I'll make sure all your business is in place and it looks right. It looks good. And we can also help you with ideas how to finance your project. That's the biggest problem that indie artists have is money to be able to, of course, the internet has made ways that we can promote ourselves and so forth, but it still takes money, you know, to do that. And especially if you want to go mainstream, at some point, you're going to have to pony up some cash.
Right.
So we, you know, can assist with all those types of things. So, you know.
That's right.
Well, I really, really appreciate you guys coming and sharing your story. And before we end the interview, can you give us like the reason why did you guys choose the name Cadenza?
Go ahead, babe.
So the cadenza in a piece is the part where the person is playing solo at a cadenza. The music hits a cadenza note. And when we were thinking of a name, of course, we wanted to stay with something musical. And the idea of the cadenza came up, and I'm like, cadenza. And I'm looking it up, and it's like, okay, this is the part where you get to shine. You are the star in this piece, in this whole masterpiece. So it doesn't exclude the rest of the composition, because you need the rest of the composition. You can't just play one note and the whole song sounds good. So in this whole composition, you know, we have us, we're the composition and the music playing with you, but it's your time to hit that cadenza. It's your time to hit that note. It's your time to shine.
That's right.
And then we're in Duluth, so it just sounds good to throw that at the end.
I love it. That is such a clever name, and it just fits so well. So
thank you.
Yes.
It was a pleasure. And thank you. This is our first podcast together.
Really?
So we were excited to do this. So thank you so much, Bev. And
well, I'm honored. I'm very honored.
And stay with us, because we're going to come back.
Yes.
We definitely, with the Culture Warehouse, that's going to be huge.
Yes. Yes. I can't wait.
So we're hoping that, you know, we broke it news here on your show on DarkHorse. We told you all the culture community was coming, and
all the juicy secrets.
So you got it from us. It's been leaked on DarkHorse.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for joining us on DarkHorse Matters, the show about people, their passions, and their pursuit toward happiness. And, if you guys like this episode, please, subscribe and share it with your friends, because you never know. The stories that you hear on this show could inspire that fire in you to go after your dreams. And that's the whole point, right? To find your passion. So until next week, be passionate.